Welcome to the CWC Podcast with your host, David Selby, Justin Reed, and Andy Hoy.
All right, welcome to the CWC Podcast, the home for the latest news, rumors, and interviews around the sport of Chuck Wagon racing. I'm your host, David Selby, and I'm joined by my co-host, Justin Reed. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. It's everything's crazy right now. We don't have Andy today because Andy's literally fighting fires outside of his house, and we've been hearing about all that kind of stuff going on everywhere. Well, it's happening currently right now too, Andy. He is with his dad. He said that they're disking out dirt right now and just trying to create pretty much a brake line so that the fire can't jump over that brake line. And so if you've ever dealt with burning on a field or anything like that, you kind of know how those things go. You really want the wind to work with you and not against you in a good way. And right now, I think that they are trying to keep that fire from jumping over into the property that includes their home. So be sending good thoughts, prayers to not just Andy, but also everybody that's being affected by this stuff. We also today, behind the scenes, we've got Savannah working as a producer. She's in Producer's Alley, and we're kind of figuring out how that works. But so far, so good. She got us started up and we're rolling. So if anything goes wrong, we know we've got her here. We're in good hands, and we'll see how we can develop that into something. Hopefully we can get her face in here at some point to where the producer gets to come in and show their face every once in a while, like just in case Justin drinks too much and passes out or something, and we need someone to fill in.
Hey now.
Well, hey, it's March, and that means for all of you college basketball people out there, actually, I would say even people that aren't college basketball, you can't ignore the fact that it's March Madness right now. Have you filled out a bracket?
I have not filled out a bracket, and I will not fill out a bracket because I don't really care for basketball. But if I had to pick a team that was going to go all the way, I would say probably Duke.
Well, that's really rolling the dice.
Yeah,
there,
yeah. I'm really just like
Yeah, well. They're a number one seed, and for those of you that need just a little bit of a brush up on how the NCAA tournament works, 64 teams. There are 4 quadrants of the bracket. You will have seeded 1 through 16 in each of these 4 quadrants. Duke is a number 1 in one of the 4 quadrants. Mm-hmm. My KU Jayhawks are not, usually they are, but didn't have such a good year. So they're number 7 seed. And guess who they're playing in the first round of the tournament?
Oh.
Just throw a state out there. Heck, the one you're in, just throw it out there.
I don't know. Arkansas.
They're playing Arkansas. Arkansas is a number 10 seed. So the 7 and 10 seed play in the first round. And so that's Thursday night, as everybody's, hopefully listening to this and not watching that, it's 6:00 and they'll be playing Arkansas. So funny how these things happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little Folgers in my cup right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. What are you drinking?
Hey, a Sprite, I am trying to, I don't say it on this can, but usually it says quench your thirst.
Okay. Wonder what they're paying you today. But I don't want to know. I don't want to hear that it's more than what I pay you. Because if it's anything,
it's more than you pay.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I just pay you in fame and celebrity.
Hey, that's all right.
Well, Duke's a good pick. I like Duke. I don't like them. I just like their chances.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm trying to think of another
Auburn's
team
not too bad. They're not too bad off.
I think they're your number 1 overall seed.
Are they?
I think that they are, as heavily as anybody. But Duke has a good squad, and there are a lot of good teams, and the college sports landscape, has changed a lot in these last couple of years because they've switched to where, traditional college recruiting is, hey, we can offer you a scholarship and a great facility and all these things, but they can't pay you. They really can't even give you anything, or it would be violating certain NCAA rules. Well, now they're like, well, if you're using our likeness for your school and for the NCAA to make a whole lot of money, then we should be able to accept money and endorsements like professionals because you're making millions of dollars on our likeness. So, so that's all transitioned to what they call the portal, where now you can be traded and you can transfer, if you will, through the portal. And the the rules that used to govern college sports are a thing of the past, and now these kids are making a lot of money, and we'll see how they grow up.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
You hope nobody gets hurt, but that's part of the conversation, right? Like if you're going out there and you're risking your neck for a school, let's say you go and destroy your knee or something, you can never play again. Well,
Yep.
the school made millions of dollars on you, and then your career was over, and you got a desk job.
Well, and the sad part about it is that a lot of students will not make it to the NFL, and
Right.
so they're getting paid to play football, even lower level, like second string. They're still getting paid to play football, and but they're never going to get that option to go up to the NFL. So, it just kind of, to me, I think it would break my heart if I was getting paid to do football, and then as soon as college is over, now I can't.
Yep. Yeah. It's like you got to become a coach or whatever, a personal trainer or something like that if you love the sport that much. But
Yeah.
the sports landscape has changed so much in the last couple of years. I can hardly keep up with it. I just doubled down on Chuck Wagon Racing and live there, which is fine. But yeah, my hot take is that we'll see KU sneak through there, which probably wouldn't surprise everybody because they've had success in the past, but it would surprise the crap out of me because I've been watching them this year and haven't been playing so well.
Well,
yeah. So glad to know that you think Duke will win it, and
I mean, I hope Ole Miss wins it, but if Duke wins it, Duke wins it.
Right. I forgot you're in Mississippi.
Yeah, and they're sitting 6th, so
Yep.
It is what it is.
Well, today we will be talking about news and notes from around the sport of Chuck Wagon Racing, as well as all these other things that we can continue to bring up. We will be presenting a new weather segment today, which we know you're going to love. And rather than presenting on this week's race matchups for Loretta Lynn's, we have Kim Mayo and Anthony Bruto making another short appearance to talk about the flooding at Loretta Lynn's Dude Ranch, and they plan to postpone until September. So we're going to get more of that. It's all coming up on the CWC podcast. Speaking of weather, we're experiencing quite a lot of different kinds of weather. It's been storms, golf ball sized hail, snow, flooding, tornadoes, 60 plus mile per hour winds. Some of that wind is carrying dust, or if you're in Oklahoma, you're not just getting dust, but you're seeing the spread of wildfires because of maybe drought or where you live, or wintertime, not the most rain and everything coming through, keeping things green in the wintertime, so everything dies off. And when you get hit with this wind and this dry weather at the very start of the year, Oklahoma is getting hit with the brunt of that. So it's only appropriate that our show now covers the weather. And fortunately, we discovered last week that we have our very own weatherman. So without further ado, welcome to the newest segment of our show, Precipitating Profanity with Justin Reed.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, this mother effort. No, I'm just kidding. No, the fires are extremely bad in Oklahoma. They started on Friday, really, when Arkansas was getting its brunt of bad weather, as well as the St. Louis metro area and things a little bit west of it, as well as into Illinois. And then Saturday, they had a lot of severe weather in southern parts of Arkansas, as well as Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and on eastward. But we, as of right now, during this recording, we are actually experiencing some wildfires also. In fact, we've got some in Pulaski County, which is the county seat of the state. Like, that's where the capital is. Yeah, it's Little Rock, basically. And it's all its regional area. But yes, we are having some fires go through that's creating some very rough visibility, and it's a bad situation out there right now. And you would think, even though the storms came through on Friday and this weekend, that you wouldn't have those chance of wildfires. But the truth is that as much lack of rain as we've had, and then with all this wind and the fact that the storms came in, see, there was only some portions of the state that even seen rain throughout that period. So you are getting a little bit of that. But I'd like to kind of take some time and go over what we saw this past weekend here in Arkansas.
Yeah, it's a real weather segment. And while he's getting that up, disclaimer, we're not professional weather people. I'm not, but
I'm not
Justin
either.
has a paid subscription that he can see very good, nice radar maps. And as you can see there on the side of his screen, things look crazy. I mean, just weather everywhere.
Yep, I'm about to take that off because I am.
Won't be the first time you took something off on the show.
Whoa, yeah, that's true.
Our listeners are like, are they really doing like the weather right now? Are they really doing this?
Yeah, probably. They probably are thinking that.
Hey, you know what? We know that most of our listeners are Arkansas people, and we want to take care of them. So Justin is about to show us. Sorry, cover the kids' eyes. Go ahead, Justin.
So this right here is this was the day before the storms came through on Friday. So this was the Thursday outlook for Friday. And then it goes into the tornado outlook for Friday. And you see that massive area. Well, that's the majority of where those tornadoes came from. Now, this right here is a shot from one of the cameras. This was Cave City, one of the places that got hit here in Arkansas that I went to on Saturday after the storms to kind of help out. And they were just devastated, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's Cave City right there from a aerial view. And yeah, there's just some pictures that's going to roll through. Now, what's crazy is we had the Cave City tornado was actually an EF3, which is a pretty significant tornado. And then we had 2 EF4s this past Friday. Now, one was in Diaz. It actually didn't have a lot to it because there wasn't as many houses. This is the tornado outlook. This was all the warnings that went out over the weekend. And then I want to share that that Diaz tornado real quick.
And Cave City, for those that don't know, just kind of like northeastern Arkansas.
So it is northeastern Arkansas, but actually, if you think of...
I just made Siri speak. Up near like Batesville.
If you think of Batesville, so Batesville is right here. You have to go through Batesville to get to Cave City if you're coming from like central Arkansas. But once you get to Batesville, you know, we have that race in Batesville, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually drove up to Cave City, helped them out, and then drove from there over to Diaz, which is not that far of a distance away, but it actually goes right past where we have our Chuck Wagon Race and Batesville. That's the back road that I took from Batesville from Cave City to Diaz. You actually pass right by where we have the Chuck Wagon races, and it's almost like literally, I would say probably the tornado in Diaz happened probably 2, maybe 3 miles away from where we have our Chuck Wagon race. But here is that tornado. And this is from Stephanie Stafford.
Holy cow.
And you can just hear it. Like just that roar.
It's big.
Yikes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Look at the debris.
Yeah, just a ginormous tornado.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
But yeah, so that's that is that tornado that went through Diaz, and it's actually Campbell Station is where that was. But it was actually 11 miles an hour, just shy of what an EF5 is rated at. So, and there's other... Do what?
Horror film stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like, literally, when you take into perspective Arkansas and EF4s, there's only been probably somewhere between 30 and 40 out of the history of them keeping track of tornadoes. So that being one, and us seeing it, that's pretty drastic.
Well, let's hope that we're not just getting started on this stuff. Let's hope that we jump right over this season. Heck, I guess in a way, it's like, can we just go ahead and get hot and get away from the tornadoes? It's like,
Well,
if you're not getting drought, you're getting tornadoes.
so to segue in to what the outlook is for this tornado season. So a lot of it has to do with La Nina and El Nino, and if you don't know what that is, it's a lot of like the coastal weather, and like if you look at California, the water temperature and how the waves come in and how it's all oceanic atmosphere, right? And so they believe, the scientists, they believe that La Nina and El Nino are what basically determines what the tornado outlook for that season's going to be. What they were talking about, and I've done a lot of research on this, but they're talking about this year they don't expect as many tornadoes in Tornado Alley, which is like the Texas, Oklahoma, all the way up to Omaha, Nebraska, that section. They actually
Kansas.
Huh?
Don't leave Kansas out. They're like, hey, listen, there was a movie. There's a big movie called Wizard of Oz named after what happens here.
Well, all the way up,
Yeah.
but all that's Tornado Alley. So they don't expect there to be as many tornadoes in Tornado Alley as they do expect there to be in Dixie Alley, which is like Mississippi, Alabama, on forward that way, but also the Mississippi Valley and the Tennessee Valley. Sorry. Wow. Anyways, so they believe that there's going to be a lot more severe weather in those areas, which we're going to be categorized in that. They believe it's just going to be east of the Tornado Alley. Arkansas is not really Tornado Alley, even though a lot of people think it is.
Yeah.
But so I would say that by looking at all the models and listening to all the research that's been put in, we're looking for a hyper-focused year on tornadoes anyways. They're expecting there to be anywhere from I think around 300 for the month of April, and like 300 or 400 for the month of May. So,
and that's substantially up on average, or
so it's about 30% higher than the average. But if you're asking about the winds that have happened recently, a lot of those are coming from those dry lines that are pushing through, Oklahoma, like west of Oklahoma and west of Texas, and they're pushing through like through the Panhandle and everything. But if you look at the way the wind is going right now, it's actually on the back of that storm that pushed through. So there is like a lower level jet stream that goes through, and it kind of looks like if you look at a hurricane with an eye, that's what the wind looks like. It's all turning, and so all of that wind that's coming into Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, all of that is from the back of that storm that pushed through this weekend.
Man, yeah, we were feeling it. We were out we're recording on Wednesday afternoon, which afternoon is also why we're just drinking normal libations.
Yeah.
Usually we're filming later in the evening, but we were out shooting on the goat ranch where they have Baker's Pain Stampede yesterday. And I mean, the wind, it's already pretty windy out there because the way that ranch sits in kind of like a valley, but oh my gosh, I mean, we're getting 30 and 40 mile per hour gusts, and it's just like a sunny day and everybody's just trying to work, like normal. And
yeah,
it was blowing everybody's audio away. Their voice was just blowing away as we were trying to record things. But, we recorded stuff anyways, which we're just at that point, that's part of the story is, hey, we're dealing with a lot of wind and it makes things more difficult. So
yeah,
that is the reality. And you heard it here first on Precipitating Profanity with Justin Reed. And we have as you now know, and as I now know, we have a very legit weather segment on this show. And Now you know what to expect, and good job, Justin. When I asked you a little bit ago if you would do some weather, today, I didn't
2
know
hours ago.
Yeah, shortly before you started on the weather segment, I am surprised that we got that much out of you. That was great.
Yeah, of course.
For anybody that also, I've been meaning to say this has nothing to do with Justin, but if you're listening to this on the app or on YouTube, if you ever get to a segment where we get a little too bogged down, sometimes I get a little bogged down on stuff, just know that just like any good audio podcast platform, you can actually go and increase the speed and listen to us a little bit faster. I think that's kind of a cool feature. And so check it out. Get over to the Chuck Wagon Channel app. Go ahead and subscribe there or on chuckwagonchannel.com. It's $11 a month, $99 a year. Relive the ride with us and go ahead and check out season 2 of the Great Wagon Race that is streaming now on the Chuck Wagon channel. So check it out. All right. Well, we better get moving into it here because I know we've got some guests. Do we see them in the waiting room right now? Is that a thing? Please send me a message. There she is. Hey, what's up, Kim? How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're good. We may have announced early in the show that we might see Anthony Bruto. I'm guessing he's not coming on today.
I actually have not talked to Anthony. Let me see. Did you send him a link?
I sent it through. I sent it through email, and I sent it just a little after 4.
Give me 2 seconds and let me see if he's. I'm trying to call him and it keeps.
No,
I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna shoot him a text real quick.
Not great service down there at the old Dude Ranch.
Yeah, and I know they're trying to get everything back up and going. Oh, it's just been a mess. Hold on. Yeah, I keep trying to call and like literally it'll. I think we're having some issues with Verizon. Is the wind crazy there?
It's crazy everywhere right now.
Absolutely.
But Justin can tell you. Justin can tell you if it's crazy where Anthony Bruto's at. What's it look like in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee right now? Justin, meteorologist Justin. I'm sorry, weatherman. He's not a meteorologist yet.
Yet. Are you working on that, Justin?
Oh, I might work on it.
He's thinking about quitting his job and moving to Norman, Oklahoma, and pursuing a new career.
Facing storms.
Yeah, he likes this stuff. He's good at it. We just did our first ever true Justin Weatherman segment, which we call Precipitating Profanity with Justin Reed.
I guess it would help if I called the right Anthony in my phone. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry, other Anthony.
Let me restart this and see if it's... Because he might want to get on too, just... Because I know we've been really bummed out about this week.
Yeah.
And I know the ranch is really... And, they're calling for a little bit more rain this afternoon, so...
Yeah, Justin was just talking about how there's all this stuff kind of coming through right now.
I think I saw just a little while ago that somebody was getting snow. Like Oklahoma,
up
maybe?
in the north. Well, up in the north they are for sure. There's blizzards going through.
That's crazy. Hold on.
What was the movie called?
I had to reset my phone to see if it was my problem, the reason it wasn't calling out. But I know just a little while ago, our Verizon went out for just a minute.
You're talking about
I'll be
The Day After Tomorrow?
That's it. Yeah.
With Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah. And like everything's like
in New York.
Is that the movie where like these like freeze waves just like come through and like there's like an eye of something or whatever and they just like instantly freeze?
Yeah, so it's yes, but they had like a tsunami first and all the water came into New York and then that eye came through and it like froze everything immediately. Yeah. It's great. Good movie.
Was there one called like 2012 or something like that too? That was
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
They said that there were like trees that came alive in that movie.
Oh, well.
I was like, okay, yeah.
I was just watching that new documentary series that they have out on Netflix about the Joplin, Missouri tornado that come through.
Yep.
Oh, did
What's it
that
called?
just come
Twister,
out
I think.
Yeah.
on the
I
18th?
literally was just watching that.
Yeah. I remember
Crazy.
when that all happened.
I sent Anthony a text. I sent the first text to the wrong Anthony, and they come back and said, "Sure, how do I get on there?" And I saw it was the wrong one. I was like, "Oh, not you."
Other
So,
Anthony was like, I'm getting on a podcast. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, wrong person. Hold on.
Today is not your day, Anthony. Other
No.
Anthony.
He may not. He may be like down in the ranch doing something, so he may not be able to.
Well, that's okay. Um and that's all right because we do have one person here that can speak
Yeah.
on behalf of the ranch, and I trust that Kim Mayo has all the answers, and
I hope I have all the answers.
I know you've got the most important information, which is what you guys are pivoting to do and everything. So let's just jump into it if you're okay with that. And if
Yeah.
if Anthony shows up, he shows up. We sent him a link, and it's in his email. If he doesn't get it, that's okay. It's not the end of the world.
That's fine. I'll answer the
Not
best
yet.
I can.
It's not the end of the world yet. But we don't know. Justin might share with us that it is coming. I see him looking at some stuff. So we've got Kim Mayo on the show here. We were maybe going to have Anthony Bruto on. He's been very busy this week, but to kind of update everybody on what is happening. So Loretta Lynn's spring Chuck Wagon races held at Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. We were going to be rocking that out this weekend in the back half here of March. However, as everybody's experiencing a lot of different weather at Loretta Lynn's Dude Ranch, they were going to have this first race of the season, but Mother Nature had other plans. Kim is a primary promoter for anything Chuck Wagon racing there at Loretta Lynn's. So tell us what happened down there at the ranch and how things are kind of looking right now from what you've heard from Anthony.
So Saturday night with the ranch and actually pretty much all of West Tennessee, they experienced a lot of flash flooding. I know Saturday afternoon, like the creek was still in the banks, and then all of a sudden, by midnight Saturday night, everything was up. I mean, the racetrack was completely underwater. What they call Area 3, one of the camping areas, was completely underwater. And when I say completely underwater, I'm talking like it was rushing, gushing. And so there's a lot of debris. And we felt for the safety of the racers, the safety of the spectators. It was just going to be best if we tried to postpone it. So Sunday morning, I got up first thing and contacted Nancy and Brad, and we worked out a date. So we're going to move it to September 12th through the 14th. With that being said, we have contacted, the rodeo contractor, all of the different people that we had come in to help with the events. Everybody has been super understanding, and everybody so far is on board with the September date.
Good.
So,
good.
like I said, the racetrack was completely underwater, so it's a complete mess. I know they've lost quite a bit. I mean, they had panels and stuff already set up for the racers coming in. So they've lost all of their panels. I mean, it's a big mess.
Yeah.
And,
I saw
it was just going to be too hard on the ranch to get everything ready in 3 days' time for everyone to come in.
Yeah. And I know you guys want it to be safe. Racers want the track to be good. And not to mention, the weather just doesn't seem to let up right now. It's not been better. Not much better, unless, if you're getting that really sunny weather where you're getting all that dry wind coming through, drying things out. That's nice and all, but yeah, it's springtime and weather keeps on rolling. So, I guess I'm curious to know, as far as, getting that news, kind of getting things finalized, you guys made a good quick pivot there to go to September 12th through 14th. Why was that the date? How do you guys like that date? Do you feel good about it?
Well, that wasn't really a particular date that come to my mind, but we had to look at the ranch's dates on when they already had events scheduled, because they have their event calendar out already for the year. And then also we had to coincide with ACWRA on what they could do. Plus, we were looking at other people's races. You know, you got the B&B race. You've got the what's it called? The Race for Christ, the one that Jana is real big into.
Yeah.
Branded by Christ.
You've got that one. You've got the Reggie Little race coming up in August. You know, so we had to look at all of these other little races as well. You know, and so we didn't want to step on anyone's toes. We didn't want to race back to back. You know, I know that's 2 weeks after Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
That was really the only reason that I was not exactly 100% for it, but it was just a date that worked for everyone.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then also in September, it's still going to be warm enough that people can utilize the creek.
Sure.
You know, so that's a plus for some people, because some people were upset that it was going to be too cool and not be able to get any creek time in. So, you know, I think it's going to work out okay. I didn't want to do it before Clinton. Well, there was a date before Clinton that we had looked at, but you know, I know like with us, we don't want to run our animals 2 weeks before Clinton and risk getting them hurt.
Yeah.
So that was just a date. The other date that was looked at was like the middle of November, but then you run into daylight savings time, and you know you're going to lose daylight, and you know if something unfortunate happened out on the track, you know we didn't want to be racing in the dark, and you know, so that was just going to be the best date that worked out for everyone.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it and you kind of zoom out and you look at where all these other races land, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that there's really nothing happening in September, but it is also, like you said, it's that time after Clinton where people probably just had a whole week down
That's
there.
right.
And so they go home and they unpack and they do all that stuff. But I don't know, maybe it works out good. Maybe some people have more
We
things packed up
actually
already.
instead of doing the event starting, you know, like vendors coming in on Wednesday night, we shortened it up. We're just going to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That same week is also Loretta Lynn's fall horseback ride, the trail ride that they do every year in the fall.
Okay.
So that trail ride is going to be like actually Monday through Thursday. So we're really hoping also that helps that some of the trail riders want to stay and take in on some of the racing action. So
Yeah. Who wants to go home on a Thursday? So
that's
how many
right.
people
That's right.
how many people come out to the trail ride? Do you know what the turnout is?
Honestly, I really don't know. We've gone through there before and just gone to visit some people during, and they usually have a big turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like
that
a
could be
full
great.
campground or anything, but it's a lot of horseback riders.
Man.
You know, it's like a smaller scale of eminence.
Gosh. I mean, I don't
So
know about that event, but the way that just sounds, I mean, if you got a horse event going on the same week,
that's
it
right.
seems they could just stay on that horse and ride it on over the track for Saturday. I mean, that seems like a really nice plan for horse people. If all, who knows, maybe that's the silver lining you were looking for.
Yeah. So we're gonna start it on Friday instead.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the racers and stuff, if they want to come in before that, you know, we're gonna work something out to where if they want to come in early, that they can. You know, we'll have to look and see, because they charge the trail riders different than what the admission is for the Chuck Wagon races. You know, everything's different. So, but we're gonna look further into that closer to time and get something worked out.
Man, no kidding. Well, I hope that it ends up being the kind of thing where it just works out great. I hope it ends up being the kind of thing where it turns that 4 or 5 day trail ride event into a week-long thing, and pretty soon
Right.
you've got, you know, the Loretta Lynn's Frontier Days or something going on over there.
Yes.
That'd be just fine. Well, cool. Anything, any real changes in the program that you expect based on the change of dates? Anything we can share?
No, we're just gonna have to do some adjustments. Which really on Thursday night, you know, we had like the team pinning, we had the tack auction, but we are gonna try to work that into the Friday and maybe Saturday morning schedule somehow. I know we're gonna have a lot going on because you know you have the drivers meeting and weigh and measure, which hopefully by that point everybody already have their teams weighed and measured. But you know, so we're gonna try to work it out and fit it into the schedule. Like I said, on Friday evening, Saturday morning, we'll do something. We'll figure it out. But
Yeah,
no, as
so
far as everything that we were planning on having, we still plan on having. So the rodeo, the 2 nights of rodeo, the bands, I mean, we had a big turnout on the vendor list. I think there was like a total of 16 or 17 vendors.
Wow.
So, So yeah, I think everybody though they're on board on coming to September with us, and we'll be ready to rock and roll in, and hopefully we'll have drier weather.
So,
But like you said, Mother Nature had other plans for us.
yeah.
Right.
Well, at least now you can steer clear from the tornado season, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you, I was really disappointed on Sunday morning. I was like, could this not have happened at a more worse time? And then I got to thinking, I thought, yeah, it could have. We could have all been there and had to evacuate in a matter of 30 minutes. And,
Yeah.
so yeah, it could have been worse.
Well,
But,
so go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, so it's safe to say no Halloween Havoc race?
That's right.
Yeah. with
Because
this
that's going to
being
be
fall.
just too close to do back to back like that.
Yeah.
We had one of the options was to go ahead and have Halloween Havoc and just sanction that race. But with the Chase Outlaw race being the following weekend, we just figured we were just going to be better off moving it to a weekend where we're not back to back.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well, there's always
It'll be
next year.
fine.
Yeah. And you never know how
That's
things will
right.
change.
And maybe it'll be, not too hot, but still warm enough for everybody to be in the creek and still have their fires at night and kind of get the best of both
Absolutely.
worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that we get to turn the corner on the hot weather
Yeah.
at a good time this year so that, it's mild in September. That would be really cool. But
That's right.
yeah, it's a bummer, I know, for a lot of people, to not go and make that first race happen this weekend. I know we were looking forward to it, but I do think that there's a silver lining with everything, and there is something that just kind of tickles me a little bit about this falling the way you guys are doing it with that trail ride. I feel like that could just be a good thing, and we will see, but maybe you can cross promote there. I mean, if you've got people there for 4 or 5 days already, why not stay another couple days and see what this Chuck Wagon racing thing's all about?
Right.
So that'd be cool if
That's
that
right.
if that could bridge a gap there for you guys. But we really appreciate you being on the show. We appreciate you
Yeah.
coming and informing everybody. We are thinking about you guys, and we're sending good thoughts, prayers, just good vibes all the way around, that the ranch gets back up on its feet quickly, and that you guys have a really good event season, even regardless of this one pushing back. But we're planning on being there. We've talked about it. We
Good.
know we're going to be there this fall, and I expect that. I think things will fall into place, because even despite the fact that we've got Clinton right there, there's a pretty good gap between the race before and the race that's going to be after Clinton.
Yeah.
So I think you might be surprised. I think that people might be ready to jump back into another sanctioned race because there's so much preparation that goes into Clinton, knowing that they did all that preparation and maybe they just didn't quite get satisfied. They weren't maybe number one at Clinton, but maybe they're ready to get back out there while their livestock is still just like revving to go. And 2 weeks is still quite a while. And
Yep.
and it's not like these racers aren't used to making a race in 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
not uncommon. So
Well,
we'll be
the
rooting
only
for you.
thing that worried me about it is because you've got all of these people that have taken off work for 5 to 10 days. A lot of these people use Clinton as their vacation. But then again, since we shortened it to be Friday through Sunday, hopefully that'll help a little bit too, because that way we're not expecting people to be there half the week, and they have to take off work. So, but we're excited about it. I just hate, it's just unfortunate that this had to happen, having to call everybody and make that post saying, hey, this isn't going to happen after we've put so much work and preparation into it. But hey, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. So
That's right.
Yeah. I
it'll
like
be
to
good.
I like to think that with everything that falls through things like this, that there's always that weird silver lining or something that's going to kind of work out because of it. So ride that wave and look for that silver lining, and we'll lean into it with you guys. And I know that the Chuck Wagon community is a strong community of tight knit people, good family, and we'll have your back. We'll be there.
Yep.
That's right. Hey, thank you for all that y'all do, and thanks for getting me on so we could talk about it a little bit.
Right on. Well, we appreciate you, Kim, and we will talk to you
right.
very soon.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too,
All right,
Kim.
see you, Kim.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, yeah, I could tell, obviously when you go on the show, when you get into a public setting, you always want to make sure that you stay happy and optimistic. But I do know that they're very disappointed that they're not having the event, and I feel bad for them.
And you can tell that, she seemed to have that emotion there that was, I mean, I just can't imagine putting that much work into it. And, not that it's gone to waste, because we will have a great event come September, but you put all that work and effort into it and you're almost there, you're a week away, and then things happen,
Mm-hmm.
It
It's
can
pretty
be,
incredible.
yeah, it can be really emotional, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean they have had their dates. Man, they have had their dates kicked around like a soccer ball. I mean, it has just been everywhere for them, and I don't know, man. I've got a good feeling. I've got a good feeling for them,
Yeah.
and I know that I actually had a good feeling about them having the first race of the year, which is a cool thing. But I actually feel like some things could click into place for them with the way the dates fall now. So
Yeah.
we will sit back and we will see. We will actively be sharing any information that we get. Anything that they change, anything that they add, different things reveal themselves when the dates change like this. And so who knows? It might just be perfect for them. I mean, the fact that they have an equine event going on that week.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what if a whole bunch of those people want to stick around?
That'd be awesome.
I think that could be really cool for them, and it's cool for everybody. So could be good. Could be a good thing. So so keep it on your calendar. September 12th through the 14th. It'll be racing on the 13th and the 14th. That's Saturday and Sunday. And get it on your calendars, guys, because we'll be there. We'll be recording. We'll be shooting and telling the story. And then also on your calendars, we start looking what's the next race. That will be April 5th and 6th in Sparkman, Arkansas. This will be what would have been the second points race of the year is now the first points race of the year with the ACWRA. That's the Cow Cutter Chuck Wagon races. Michael and Cecilia Berry, we've had them on not very long ago, and we'll continue kind of drip more and more content out for that race as we get a little closer. So we're looking forward to that. I think that's all we've got for today. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. So like we said earlier, please subscribe and relive the ride at chuckwagonchannel.com. We do have a weather segment now, so the value just keeps getting better. I wonder if that's the kind of thing that we just keep that. You just keep that on the Chuck Wagon channel behind the paywall. I mean, that's high quality content right there. I almost don't know if I want to put that out to the public or not. I'm just messing. But that's good stuff. Justin, the weatherman, owning it, man. But anyways, thank you, Justin, for your weather advice, and everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in, supporting what we do, and we will see you out on the track.
And stay weather aware.
Thanks for listening to the CWC podcast.